Welcome to this special series program of Gear Science. You will know more about religion, issues facing it and possible solutions. We doing this to correct the world. Thanks for interest to listen. Good luck.
The issues facing religion is a very, very big one, and everybody needs to understand that religion in itself was created in the back days so as to solve problems they were facing at that time. For instance, people back then in the olden days, you have to understand that the olden days was also had old environment where there was no beautiful houses, and there was just they just had probably only thatched roof and mud houses back then. And just imagine yourself in that primitive environment, in that olden days environment where there was nothing, no roads, there was no quota, there was no bitumen, there was no discovery of petroleum, there was no light, there was no electricity. Imagine yourself in that environment. Now, according to Survivor, okay, according to adaptation in biology, we all know that organisms need to adapt to their environment, and the things that they use to adapt in to their environment is not necessarily standard or should not necessarily be standardized. For instance, a fish if you change the environment of a fish, for instance, now you put the fish in a different kind of water having different chemical levels, the fish may adapt to that new environment by changing its structure, but that is not the initial. Okay, for instance, now you change a fish from water A to water B, and water B has more chemicals. Now, when you put fish into water B, for instance, now let's assume that the fish now changes its structure. It now adds on new structure to it so that it can survive in that new environment. Let's assume that is true. If that is true, you can agree with me that that new structure is not the real structure of that fish, right? Yes, and by genetics tells us that that structure should not or cannot be transferred genetically. Okay, why? Because it is not from the genes. It is something that was acquired due to the change in the environment. According to genetics, we know that that new structure cannot be transferred through genes. Now, we should also understand and picture religion this way. Religion can be in a like way. It may really resemble what I have just explained right now. Just like religion is just like the new environment. For instance, we have water A, water B. Religion is just like water B. Okay, water A is just like the first environment that man was exposed to. Then a religion is just like water B, just like a new environment that man was now exposed to. And now you agree with me that new environments can be created through perception. If you have a new perception of things, you have a new environment. Okay, so it's according to neuroscience. So if you get religion injected into you, it's just like a new environment, and definitely you have to respond to the new environment. Now, you may put up different structures here and there, different things to just adapt. And we should understand that back then in the olden days, religion came up as a result of probably a solution to the problems that they were having back then in the olden days. There were no houses to take note, no houses, no bitumen, no electricity. Imagine yourself in that kind of environment when the thunder strikes and you don't know why the thunder strikes. You don't know what is outside the earth. How will you form conclusions of the future? Now, could the environment have influenced how the Bible was written? We don't know, because the people who wrote the Bible did not see the modern day life we're talking about. Most of them were not hopeful about the future because of the way the environment was back then. So what if that environment of the olden days could have influenced how they saw the future, or how they portend or predict the future? This is something we all should understand. We should understand this. So we should understand the Bible of itself was a solution to problems in those days and not something that fell from heaven that everybody must live by 100%. This is something we should all understand. Thanks for listening. Make sure you always hook up to us, follow and like. Stay with us.